I love my little RAV4, but it has a huge problem. The stereo friggin' sucks. Now, in our first video on this, we did improve it to make it like functional, but I want it to be a lot better. So today we're doing a somewhat reasonable sound system install in the RAV4. I think it's gonna kick ass for sound. Components for a sound system are pretty simple. You need a source, you need an amplifier, and you need some speakers. And once you have that, you should be doing pretty good as long as your car doesn't rattle all to hell. So of course, the first thing we're gonna be doing is installing a whole bunch of sound deadening because my RAV4 does rattle a lot. So step one of any good sound system install is to completely blow apart the interior of your car. I know it might seem scary, but blowing apart the interior of your car is actually quite easy in most situations. Like, all of these panels are designed to come off and go back on just fine. What you need is simply a trim removal tool and a screwdriver, and that'll probably be good, but make sure to watch a video for your specific car first to make sure no fancy tools or odd things are required. Some of those tricks might be like how almost every single screw in here is just a simple Phillips, except on the back here where you need to turn it 90 degrees and then pull out. Haha. A lot of the time, the worst part of taking apart your car will be when somebody else screwed up and put in something somewhere where it shouldn't have gone. But just like that, the whole thing comes off. Haha. A lot of stuff you just have to yank out, but make sure beforehand that that's actually what you have to do and you're not just gonna destroy something. Indoors, there's a good chance that you encounter a vapor barrier like this one. Just simply cut it off through the adhesive and then you can reuse it. And if you accidentally go through it, just put some tuck tape or something on it to seal it up again. Yay. Any surfaces you plan on adding sound deadening to, you need to give a good clean. So I always use some all-purpose cleaner and then some alcohol to make sure it's all nice and good. And also for surfaces that you don't plan on putting sound deadening on, you might as well clean it as well while you're in there. It's actually really satisfying. Adding sound deadening is quite simple. You just buy some sound deadening material, peel off the back, and then stick it on. So this right here sounds like a literal drum at the moment, and even with a little bit of coverage, it should make a huge difference. Using a roller, make sure that everything gets nice and attached. I do think that if you've never worked on a car before, a really good first project is sound deadening, because it'll make a huge difference for basically any daily driver, and you can easily knock it out in a day with a friend.
And those are cheap.
Yeah, and it's like $100 and your stereo will sound way better. With just that one bit of sound deadening, it's already sounding way better. You don't need to go crazy with this stuff like the car audio sound quality guys do. Just a little bit of coverage will make a huge difference. If you need a smaller piece, just simply use a knife and give it a cut. In spots where you can't fit your roller, I find the back of a trim removal tool works really well. Figuring out where to put sound deadening is pretty simple. If you knock and it doesn't sound too hollow, then it's probably fine. Whereas something like that where you can hear it ringing, that's gonna be loud. So let's get some stuff on there. It still is probably gonna be pretty loud, but the improvement should be massive. And now we get to continue blowing apart the interior of the car. Removing the rear seats is just 4 14mm bolts. Easy. Oh, they're so light too. Haha. Wow, that's dirty. Oh, that's disgusting.
Did you just stick out your car from the mud?
Yeah. Other than a bunch of filth, it turns out that back here I actually have a little towing kit. So I can put a trailer on this 1,500 pounds of
bicycles?
towing this has. Yeah, a couple bikes.
Man, no wonder your car smells like natural.
What? This thing smells great. I don't know how, seeing this, but it smells good.
The natural dirt smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Gonna sound like I broke a clip somewhere. We're just gonna have to buy some clips. There's no way I can get this off without breaking it. Yeah, goodbye. Same with this one. I recommend not breaking your clips, but also they're super cheap, so just get some. After a whole bunch of scrubbing, the cleanliness of the back here has landed in that massive chasm between good enough and perfection, so we're good for more sound deadening. I think this is gonna make a huge difference. When I'm driving, all of the sound I hear is from back here, like that. And the rear of the car is done. We have a bunch of sound deadening. We didn't try and make it particularly pretty, but it does sound pretty freaking good. Some of the spots, like in here, definitely could have used some like actual sound deadening. This is more of like a sound damper, but whatever, it's gonna be a huge improvement. While I was busy adding that sound deadening, Andy removed the door panels, and it turns out that we made a bit of a biohazard. Previously, we just cut up some birch ply and chucked it in the doors, and it is now moldy. This is like from just a month, like a month and a half maybe. So do not do this. Although maybe if you put like some paint on it, it could do better, but seriously, just like 3D print something or buy an adapter.
Yo, Alex, come and see this side.
Jeez, that's f***ing bad. Oh, that's f***ing gnarly. I can't believe that's just a little bit of time. Like, it has been raining a lot, but holy shit. These Pioneer speakers that we got previously, whose sound signature I would describe as complete ass, will be used as our rear speakers now. These crappy old speakers can leave. I'm glad I never have to listen to that again. I suspect I'm going to have to cut this hole a bit bigger to fit a 6.5-inch speaker instead of the 4-inch that was in there before, but let's just give it a look. Oh, wow. It just goes right in. That makes my life easier. Bunch more sound deadening in the B pillar because it's very loud in there. Even gonna put some on the inside in here because this is still pretty loud. And there's a speaker right there. And the doors are deadened. There's a lot of sound deadening in this. Like, you can see this stuff here, but on the back of all of this, there's a bunch too, because this RAV4 is a bit more tin canny than most cars. Our front speakers are going to be some JLC2s, and I'll get into why later, but the thing that's important right now is that our speaker adapters don't work. These say that they're for 6.5-inch speakers, and if you look at our 6.5-inch speaker right here, it's not even close. See, speaker sizes are not standard in the slightest, so this is a 6.5-inch speaker. Doesn't fit at all. This right here is also allegedly a 6.5-inch speaker, and it mostly goes in right here. So I need to change our 3D print. But first I need to wait for Windows Update, and then I need to update SolidWorks, and then I can finally edit the part. So this is turning into like, I don't know, like a 30-minute excursion, and then I can spend like 3 minutes editing the file, and then we get to spend 7 hours waiting for another one to print, and if we don't have it all done tomorrow, we are f***ed.
Microsoft!
I changed the size of the 3D print file, so hopefully this will be all good. Normally it isn't a huge problem if our projects get delayed by a day or so, but in this case, one of the first things that me and Andy decided when we started this company is we get a nice long Christmas break. So if we don't have this project done in 2 days, we have travel plans and stuff. It's not gonna get done, and we don't have stuff to upload while we're breaking. To power our speakers, we need an amplifier, and I decided to go with the Hertz DP300. This gives us 75 watts per channel at 4 ohms, and it should be very well matched to our speakers. I've also had very good luck with Hertz products in the past, and it's a D-class amplifier, so it should be fairly efficient, so we're not, you know, having our lights dim when we're playing the music loud. But where the heck does this go in an old RAV4? Well, I was kind of hoping that I might be able to just sneak it in right here under the dash. Not a chance. Or maybe it could go in the side over here, but even though I technically can sort of get it in, there isn't enough space left over to actually like mount it to anything, and I don't want the amp just able to like fly around in the back of the car. So it's going to be going underneath the driver's seat. I removed the seat, cleaned all up under here, and it's going to live something just like that. If I was a high schooler, I might just send some self-tappers through the body to mount this down, but we can do it a tiny bit better, and I don't want to drill any unnecessary holes. So the plan is to take a piece of wood, cut it so it's sized properly and fits down here, use some construction adhesive to attach it to the bottom, then the carpet can go over, and we can screw into the wood through the carpet. So even though some tiny holes in the carpet under the seat, like, who cares, and we don't have a bunch of holes through the body of our car. A little bit of paint, hopefully this won't get all moldy. To get power to our amp, we're going to need some cabling, and New Concepts was nice enough to send us over a whole bunch of stuff. Now, what's in here is mostly for my Golf actually, but we'll be able to use it to get this RAV4 all plumbed up as well. Oh, a t-shirt. Somehow we have to get power from the battery into there. Where can we do that? Oh, there's a big grommet right there. This should be fine. This can probably go without saying, but when you're running a bunch of power in your car, disconnect your battery. I'm actually just gonna remove it. There we go. I really hate that I'm doing this, but for power, we're going to be using some black wire just because I have a whole bunch of this left over because I didn't need to run nearly as much ground. So we're gonna use it, but it's just it just makes me feel really bad to use black wire for power. Here we go. Come on through. And the power ends up right here where our amps will be. Got our amp and power board right here. I'm just gonna use some good old no more nails to attach it to the floor of the car.
That's how Tesla is built.
Yeah, this is how Teslas are built. Adhesives are great. My plan for this is to use too much.
Let's do better.
Andy, it literally doesn't matter at all.
My OCD.
Your OCD can be fully unconcerned. How's that? There, is that what you wanted, Andy?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Sure.
Okay. Like, right there is probably good.
That does not cover the hole.
I'm liking the placement of everything here, so I'm going to just screw it in. You absolutely can use a drill to do this, and it'll go by a little bit faster, but I find that's a really good way to just strip the wood that you're drilling into, and you'll have a bad time, whereas use a screwdriver and you have no problems. Now I'm attaching our crossovers. These are so that we can have the tweeter and the woofer for the front speakers running off of one channel of the amp. This doesn't give you as much flexibility as giving each speaker its own amp channel, but also is way cheaper than having an amp channel for every single speaker in your car. One of our absolute favorite tricks when you're doing wiring in a car and you have to get something through an area that's a bit of a pain in the butt is just simply attach a zip tie to the end of your wire, and then that's much easier to fish through. So like this little grommet right here, just push the zip tie in. Come on, get in there, you jerk.
Zip tie tuning, subscribed.
Yeah, I just pull that through, come on. And there's a wire, haha.
Look at that.
Beauty. Up front here, I've added in a fuse so that if something goes wrong, the car doesn't burn to the ground. And also I need to add in some of this super annoying shielding stuff so that if the wire rubs against something, it doesn't, you know, wear through and then burn my car to the ground. Our 3D printed speaker adapter Mark II has arrived, and let's see here. All right. Speaker fits on it no problem, which is not surprising because I measured it and I don't know, measuring things works pretty good most of the time. But let's see if it goes in here. Andy was a bit concerned about it hitting the window rail. No, it's clearing.
Wow.
How much? Wait, how much is? It is against it.
Nice. Mint.
Yeah, we'll add some foam and step it out like the millimeter that it needs and everything will be great.
Sweet.
In here you can see that we've also run brand new wires to everything. For the most part, I would recommend just reusing the factory wiring in your car, but this is all 28 years old and some of it's already started to fail or become intermittent, so we're just replacing it all at once. It is super important when you do this to make sure that you label all of your wires, especially if you're using passive crossovers like this. If you mess up your woofer and your tweeter and run the full woofer signal through your tweeter, it will explode and not be covered by warranty. Now at the moment, we have all of the wires for the speakers and the amp, but what we don't have is any signal going to that amp, which is why we need a new head unit. Well, I guess technically we don't need a new head unit. This one, it works, but it sucks and it's terrible and I hate it. And also it doesn't have Bluetooth. There we go. To replace it, I got the Kenwood KDC BT382U. I got this one because it has everything that I want in a head unit. We have a CD player right here, hell yeah. Physical volume knob, so you don't have those stupid buttons, and also it does phone calls, but it does not have Android Auto because that's not really what the old RAV4 is about. If you do want Android Auto, one neat way to do it in a lot of older cars is to have a flip out screen, but unfortunately in this RAV4, because the head unit's sort of recessed in there, it will hit on this when the screen flips out. To get the sound from the head unit to the amp and the sub, we have some very simple RCA cables. These are just Crutchfield generic brand stuff, but it'll be perfectly fine. All of your amps will need a ground, so I've got that right here. If you're going for like a balls to the wall sound quality build, you might want to put your ground all the way into the front to connect to the negative of the battery so you don't have any random interference or stuff from the car, but we're not going for that, so we're just gonna choose a random bolt, specifically this one right here, because Toyota's already used it as a ground, so it's probably pretty good. To ensure you have a good ground connection, just wire wheel off some of the paint right around the hole that you're going to attach to so that you don't have, well, paint in the way, screwing up your ground. This is lightly a pain in the ass, actually. Yay!
That's a big plate of spaghetti you got there.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be an absolute spaghetti monster until we solve it, but I want to hear it run first. Now I need to wire up the head unit because this right here will not connect to the one that I currently have. And in most cars, you can make that a little bit easier on yourself by buying a bespoke connector that will just make the whole thing plug and play, but I did not think that that's worth it at all because we are not using any of these guys because we aren't connecting the speakers themselves to the head unit. We are just going straight to the amplifier. So we only have these ones to deal with. Fortunately, this should be super duper easy. All of the wires are labeled in here, which is great. Love to see that, and goodbye. Sweet. Huge thanks to iFixit for sponsoring today's video. With the price of new cars and technology absolutely skyrocketing, it is more important than ever to be able to repair your own devices. iFixit's Fix Hub soldering station has actually been incredible. It has entirely replaced my soldering station, and it was actually created by their founder when he was frigging around working on cars being like, well, this is annoying that I have to like take an extension cord and the whole thing in when you're in an awkward spot. This is awesome. This soldering station has up to 8 hours of continuous soldering, which is pretty wild, and the whole thing is powered over USB-C, so you don't have to worry about stupid power connectors and stuff. The kit includes everything that you need to get started soldering, so go to the link down below to check out iFixit, and of course, huge thanks to iFixit for sponsoring this video. This is where the iFixit station comes in pretty clutch. It's always such a pain in the arse getting all of your cables and stuff and an actual soldering iron into your car. I know some people die for crimp connections or those stupid heat them up with a heat gun solder connections. I think those are really stupid.
Free cables?
Yeah, that's it. That's why we didn't bother getting one of those frickin' adapter chummies. Final thing I'm doing up here is just Wagoing in the triggers for the amp and the sub. I could have just soldered 3 together, but that's kind of sketchy. The trigger is just simply so that your sub and amp know when to turn on. They do have auto turn on, so when it sees music, it'll turn on, but in my experience, that works like trash. So just do it properly. Use the trigger from your head unit. Just need to solder on the leads for the rear speakers here. Zero love is being put into the mounting of these crappy Pioneer speakers in the back. I have some foam around the back so they don't rattle around, which is good. And otherwise, I think it's just gonna go right about. Cool. Yep, that's really on there. For your rear speakers, don't worry about upgrading them for the most part. One of mine was actually dead, like completely not working, so that's why we're putting these back here. Plus, we already had these crappy little speakers. But if you already have working speakers in the rear of your car, don't bother upgrading them. For the front speakers, as already mentioned, I'm going with some JLC2s. This is because they have quite good performance for the budget, and also because I'm able to get some actual tweeters. Now, it would be a much easier install if I just did coaxials. That's when you have, your woofer and the tweeter combined into one, but that just doesn't sound very good. Your vocals all sort of end up in the floor and the response is pretty bad. So tweeters getting up high is a huge improvement, but where do they go? In many cars, I'd want to put them in the A-pillar, sort of like right there, but these A-pillars are super thin and have nothing behind them. Side curtain airbags were not even a consideration at that point. So we're gonna put them on the sail panels. That's this little guy that goes right here. Now, ideally, I would be flush mounting the tweeters, like going into the sail panel all the way, but there just isn't nearly enough room back here. So we're gonna be doing a surface mount. It's pretty simple. You just have this guy right here, drill yourself 3 holes, bada bing, bada boom, there it is. Now, this is going to look a tiny bit goofy, having it sort of popping out like that, but it's not the end of the world. And if I'm honest, like, compared to some of Toyota's own JBL sound system integrations, this is the same, if not better. Those speakers look terrible, guys, jeez. To wire in the front speakers, I'm just simply doing a little crimp connection here. So crimp goes on, and then crimp gets crimped. Aha. And as a bonus, I'm adding just a tiny bit of heat shrink so that I have a tiny bit more safety here. It is finally time for the most exciting part of the build, the subwoofer. This right here is the Hertz Cento CBA 250, and I decided to go with this 10-inch sealed sub that can do 500 watts because, well, a 10-inch sealed sub makes a lot of sense in a car this small. Although this is not the smallest subwoofer I could have got, I think that the size to performance is going to be great. And because this car is so small, compressing the air in it is very easy, which means you get whack loads more bass. So this right here might be able to play down to like 20 hertz or something stupid like that because the car is just so dang small. Now you might be wondering where I'm going to put this. In many other cars, there's loads of good locations for subwoofers, like maybe under the floor of your trunk or wherever your spare tire has to go. Mine's on the outside, so that doesn't work. And in lots of trucks, you can put it underneath your rear seats, which is not an option here. So it's just going right there in the trunk. I decided that I want bass way more than space. We're really close to having a fully operational sound system, at least in being able to test it out terms. We don't have both of our speaker mounts done yet, so I'm just gonna attach these right now.
That's where we're gonna put it, right?
Yep. Well, this is the scary bit. If it's going to light on fire, it will light on fire right now. Select language, this is working.
Nice. That's RGB AF.
Okay. That one's working. That one's working. The rears are both working just fine. Okay. Those ones are good too. I think the sub's working. There we go. One sec. Gotta hit for the drop. This is gonna sound pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
All right. Let's go have supper and put all this back together tomorrow. One of the best things you can do for your speakers is foam. Big ol' foam. Not in the best location, but having my windows be able to close is pretty sweet, so it's going right there. Speakers themselves, also getting foam. Speakers attached there with just some simple screws. I'll upload a V2 of this mount with some improvements that I've realized as I've been working with it, and then that'll be down in the description. Even more foam to seal against the doors. I might need to double layer that, but we'll see. I thought adding sound deadening right here was a bit silly, but it's actually made a huge difference. Like, sweet. These are some firm crimp connections. It's hitting that foam a little bit, which is fine. Any loose connections, get the tape treatment. There we go. I'm gonna try and strategically add some tape into the door because there is still some rattle because, like, you know, that's there and this is not the best, but at the end of the day, there's only so much we can do in a car like this. So what I might just end up doing is crossing these over pretty high and having the sub in the back play some of the mid bass. At this point, all that we need to do is unspaghettify this and put everything back together. As we do that, we'll probably add in a bit more foam and sound deadening as we see fit. But for the most part, it's just reassemble car. Time lapse. All right, the car is almost all the way back together. It did take us quite a while, not because it was very difficult, but because I was obsessively cleaning every single part inside and out. I just care too much about this thing. But look at it. Everything's tidy-ish, mostly. And once we put the seat back in, you'll never even know. I'm gonna just add some tape around all of this right here so that it's not quite as eye-catching if you can see a tiny bit of it.
I got you a very sweet weight reduction. The #1 mod you should ever have.
Andy, if we take out the rear seats, this thing's lighter than your Miata. What are you doing? I am a little bit concerned about the center console going back in nice and cleanly because of all of this stuff, but there's only one way to find out. Okay. Come on, here we go.
Does it go in?
Seems like it. Where are the holes? Right there. Look at that, not bad at all. I'm not totally sure how this is supposed to go on.
No more now.
Andy.
Here you go.
Oh, easy. One thing I am really excited about is adding a microphone to this so I can have calls while I'm driving around, but looking at the microphone that came with it, which is clearly intended to go on your visor, that is goofy as hell. So I have a couple just random microphones laying around at my house, so I'm going to just poorly install this and then properly install something else later that's not frickin' this. Well, the problem is my volume knob gets in the way.
Oh.
But I can just
force it.
Yeah, I can just force literally the entire dash up and then it clears. There we go.
Looks great.
Yep.
I'm currently sitting behind the driver's seat. Definitely not super comfortable because you can't really put your feet in.
Yeah, that's fine. The passenger seat's the one that moves forward easily, and if I need to drive 4 people somewhere, I'll take the Golf. For mounting the sub, I'm just simply using the Velcro feet that came with it. That's, I guess, the manufacturer intended way to bolt this down. Normally I do actually bolt my subs down into my cars, not just because it's more secure, but also it transmits the bass into your chassis, which is rather exciting. But I'm just gonna see how this goes, and hopefully it's fine.
Man, look at that fit, man.
Ugh.
Wow.
That's actually really secure. With the way it's jammed between this little trim piece and the rear seat, this thing's actually hilariously secure. There are still 2 problems with the sub though. For one, the Hertz logo is upside down. Hate that. And also this thing is comically easy to break into. So if someone sees a nice big old subwoofer back here, maybe they will try and steal it. So, well, there's 2 birds with 1 stone. One last thing that's going to be a huge quality of life improvement. There's only one bolt in my license plate and it makes an absolute racket, and it's not easy to just put another bolt in there because like the little thing that's on the back with all the threads is just gonzo. So I'm gonna add some VHB and then it's gonna not be a problem anymore. Nice. Okay, I want to do something. Oh, that sounds so much better. Mm-hmm. All right, let's make some sparks. Oh, that's a good one.
That's a big spark. It's time.
It is finally time. Now, before I put the driver's seat in, I want to adjust the gains on the amp. I'll put a little card up somewhere here for how to properly do this, but I suspect that this car is going to get super rattly before we max out the amplifier or the speakers. So my plan is just to turn it up until it starts rattling and then call it a day. I absolutely do not care if I hit the maximum SPL of this system. I have enough hearing damage. This car doesn't need to give it to me too. Sounds really good. Okay, we need more stuff in the song, come on. Okay. I can max it out! Oh my god! It sounds amazing! We don't have enough sub though. All right, pretty please, just go in, no problem. Okay. There we go. I can't get out now.
The final 2 doors.
Oh, the rail's just slightly hitting on some of the stuff. Yeah, the cables. I just need to move them a little bit. It's just annoying. You know, with the doors fully on and stuff, those tweeters look pretty damn good. Like, look at that, Andy.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I dig it. Okay, cool.
Oh, the battery was slightly low, eh?
Yeah, battery was definitely low. We're gonna have to idle here to do some tuning. Wow, I think this head unit might be a piece of shit. So I'm trying to figure out how to like configure it, and one way to configure it is using the Kenwood app with your phone. But I plug it in, USB. Wait, is it working this time? Unsupported device. So the Kenwood app has a 1.3 stars on Google Play, and I have a suspicion that I know why. How do I adjust the settings? I'm reading the owner's manual. Wow, this is actually awful. For the rear, I'm going to cross it over at 220 hertz. That kind of just removes the bass from the rear speakers so that we don't have extra rattles and stuff. And also, you don't need those frequencies anyway coming from the back. Like, you have a big subwoofer back there. I'm gonna try crossing the subwoofer over at 90 hertz. Oh my god, this is so horrible. Distance, front left. Okay, we need a measuring tape. Setting your time alignments is the single best thing that you can do to make your car audio sound exceptional. So we're gonna come in here, and it's literally just a measuring tape. So that's like 3 feet 7 inches to my head. Sure. Yeah, it's sounding pretty good already. Having the crossovers helps a lot. Okay, let's see. Also, it's bass. So yeah, it sounds like the bass isn't quite right. Oh my god, this is such a terrible way to do this. Well, that was sufficiently annoying to do through this right here, but it is all done, and I think it sounds pretty good. Now, I can't do a proper EQ right now, just because you can't EQ a car in a garage because the bass gets all screwed up because you're in a garage, and we can't do it outside right now because there's currently an atmospheric river and 80 km/h winds. So Sometime over Christmas break, I might do that, but if you do want to properly tune your car, Audio Frog, Andy from there, has an absolutely incredible PDF that I'll put in the description. So just read that and it'll be better than anything that I can tell you. Before we go for a drive, there's one horrifically sketchy thing that I need to do. So cars run on 12 volts, PCs also run on 12 volts, and I need the CD out of my old head unit. So it's wired up here. I have the power supply jumpered. And I should be able to just turn this on like so. And with any luck, this will turn on. I did it! There we go. Hello! Now, there we go. Destiny's Child. My missus would have absolutely killed me if I lost her childhood Destiny's Child CD. Like, jeez. This is not an ideal time at all to try and show off the sound deadening improvement. It's a literal atmospheric river outside, and we didn't put any up on the roof, so it still is kind of loud, but it is a night and day difference in here. Like, the rear of the car was so stupidly loud before, but now it's actually quite pleasant. Like, you get in a new 2025 Civic, it's freaking louder than this thing on the interior, at least in terms of road noise. In terms of sound system, I think this one has it beat. Now, I did stop using this song for a little bit, but I've read the comments. I know that you guys absolutely love it. So we've got the good old Sennheiser and we've got Crab Rave. Let's see how it is. Here you go. Whoa. It is exceptional, if I am honest. When we're driving, we need a little bit more subwoofer level. Go +2. Yeah. So the treble, really clear. Mids as well, like, it sounds proper good, but let's see how the bass is. Turn it up a bit.
I'm beating on my end.
The whole car is vibrating. And there's definitely more bass left in it, but I think it's balanced where it is right now. So overall, this is a frickin' night and day difference from before. Oh my god, I hate this head unit. So we'll just turn that down a little bit there. Oh wait, no, big subwoofer. We were definitely getting a little bit of distortion there at the end, but compared to those crappy speakers before, holy frig, is that ever a difference. This easily beats like premium sound systems in like $30,000-$40,000 cars. Like, you got the JBL upgrade, even the Meridian system in a lot of Kias and Hyundais. Like, this sounds better than those, and I could not be more stoked. Just like you should be stoked to go right down and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, have a great old day. Our Patreon's linked down there below so we can buy subwoofers and stuff. See ya.
Alex, I officially hate you.
Why is that?
It's on par of my Integra.
Like the ELS system?
Yeah. Damn it! Now I need to upgrade.
Hell yeah!